Brian taught me how to preg check a cow to check if they're pregnant.
Arm, shoulder deep.
There was definitely can this work in the real world?
We did see each other a few times after the show.
We have chemistry that's natural. I don't think that's something you can fully control, but we don't have compatibility. Like, we argue on a lot of things. We don't see the world in the same way. There are so many things that were different.
You gotta be realistic. Julie's in Texas and I'm in Florida. So we both live vastly different lifestyles too, which I think plays into it.
The ending of our relationship did seem imminent, regardless of the fact that we were attracted to each other.
After the show, we got the news that CPS was gonna allow us to petition for adoption. And bringing him home was very scary. Very scary because I've never taken care of a kid before. I've never held a baby in my life. And here I'm bringing one home. And that's wildly uncomfortable for me. So I was very scared because I don't know what to do. I'm like, what do you feed this thing? He owns my smile.
I think a lot of things that aren't shown on the show is that it wasn't so like cut and dry. Like the boys were on one side, the girls were on the other. Me, Brian, and Tolu were together all day, every day. I consider Tolu a really good friend. So it's like, it sucks to see her being dragged through like this.
That's not our Tolu.
Yeah.
Tolu is beautiful, absolutely magnificent in almost every single way.
I've also been receiving a lot of backlash for my conversation with Jake. I am very proud of my culture, of my heritage, and I wear it with pride. Everybody else, you were able to see the full spectrum of who they are. Like, Simone is this, Bryce is that, Brian is this. But for me and Winnie, we are just Africans. That's it. That's all you could say about us. Despite the full array of Tolu that I've shown you, that I've displayed for you, the only one thing that you can pick is African. And that was where the anger stemmed from.
And I think what makes the show so emotional for people is people feel so uncomfortable in a morally gray dilemma. The concepts that the trust brings up is this debate around morality and right or wrong. And you'd say, like, stealing is supposed to be wrong, but is it wrong to steal if you're stealing to eat?
I was never playing Julie. I truly feel like we have and had a connection. But I also noticed from a strategic standpoint that it behooved that connection to keep growing in the house. She also cares about the other guys in the house. And so it really worked into our favor. And surprisingly, as things went on, we really did have a connection.
The show does is it highlights you can still be a good person even if sometimes your choices are in the gray. And so it shifted like how I've even viewed myself and like what I am deserving of. And I feel like I'm a lot more gentle with myself.
When you don't leave the ranch in years, I have a whole world literally passing me by. After the show, I've picked up a couple books to read Baby Rooster that have nothing to do with just white people in culture. Like we picked up one that has a Hispanic girl that's buying her first horse. Bill Pickett, a black cowboy, and all about his story. And so we're reading all about these stories and stuff. To say that my world has been kind of cracked open a little bit and expanded, yeah, it's gonna play a big part into his upbringing.
I've learned that Tolu she's a boss-ass bitch. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, despite the fact that there were so many people that tried to, when the show aired, tried to tear me down and write these really nasty, vile narratives about me, I watched the show and I am immensely proud of myself. To me, I came off as level-headed, well-spoken, fashionable, hello. And even with the conflicts that I had to deal with in the house, I'm so proud by how I resolved those conflicts. After the camera stopped rolling, I did go up to every single person one by one, and I said to them, yeah, I am the one that took the $25,000. Oh, they were livid.
I got very, very upset. Over this time, I start thinking about it that, it was like, what, 48 to 72 hours earlier? She was gonna go home with nothing.
That was my very first time in the vault. They were so willing to forgive Julie so easily for taking $15,000 and not telling anybody for almost 3 weeks. And then for me, it was also my first time in the vault. I took the money and I was immediately met with backlash.
I thought she did the right thing. I did the right thing. I understand Tolu's reasoning. I also wanted to take the money. I didn't, but I can't fault Tolu on it because I understand her reasonings for doing so. But she shouldn't have partied with me like that.
Hindsight's irrelevant. 2020. Tolu took the money. I forgive her. We went out for dinner last night.
I'm going to be so excited to go to my mom, to go to my dad and say, thank you for everything. I already said that I am giving my parents their fair share. I went in there for them. I wouldn't even have the opportunity to be in that space if it wasn't for the sacrifices that they made for me way back when. But this will just be the first little seed that I can give them to say, look, your daughter, she's doing big things.
Things have been rough. The drought has not been easy on ranchers across the entire South, especially the second-year drought that we're going into. And it's the hay prices. The cost of ranching has never been more expensive today, ever in history.
I got 2 little kids that are in school. I'm just gonna probably put the money away. I don't buy things like for myself. Clearly, this jacket's the best thing I own right now because I bought it yesterday. Like my friend was like, you should buy a Gucci belt. I wouldn't even know where to buy a Gucci belt.
Taking care of my family, I think ever since the pandemic and ever since the past few years, it's kind of been like me trying to keep my head above water. I'm a single dad and I have a little guy that I take care of. So obviously he's #1 in my life. That's a big thing. And then giving to my church community is a really big thing for me as well.
I don't know, I have a very hoarder and scarcity mindset still with money. I just wanna make sure I'm good. I just wanna make a dentist appointment and not be scared. I want furniture in my house. I've always been too scared to buy furniture. Everything's really cheap. And I hate that I don't have furniture. I just want furniture. I get emotional because even when people talk about the show being about greed, I'm I just want to be safe. I want to have these small moments that maybe people don't think about.
If Brian and I had our own spinoff, it would just be I would take Brian to a train station in New York City and I would give him a map and then Brian would get on the train and then I would get out of the train when Brian walks in and then Brian would have to find his way back to me. That would be, and they just follow you, just navigating the city, and then people would come up to you and take pictures with you, because they would think you're a novelty act.
Okay, yep.
I am manifesting bigger, better, greater opportunities. Trust and believe, baby, that is not the last time y'all are gonna see me on your TV screens.